geography and how the culture has made them feel and be, and what's enhanced them, what's become a handicap, what knowledge have they not had, what experiences have they not had, and how can we simulate them? How can we preempt these explosive acts of murder, of drive-bys, of school shootings, of responses to insult, of the need to establish one's masculine capacity to be feared. I had that too. But I came from a family of achievers, people who were disciplined in their acquisition of MDs, PhDs, of running businesses for 30 years, being teachers, being contributors. Find these points of alignment and then reverse them. Make contact. You will feel a field of energy that just feels right. Like, oh yeah, that's where, yeah, now I can flex that muscle that hasn't been getting activated because I've been writing so much. This is a point of alignment. This is a point of stabilization that you can then move, you can take it, you can have your eyes track it, you can have your eyes continuing to make rainbows. You can move it at the same time. You can change the speeds and all of these permutations on how you are using your body. Speak no evil. See no evil. Hear no evil. Don't stand any evil. Confront evil. There's got to be a lean. You've got to lean into it just a little bit. Give a little bit. And then you've got to start integrating all of your body into singularizing the points in which you're sharing the energy. Maybe you want to convert. Maybe you want to knock down this resistant force that's going to have a chemically, an endorphin, a hormonal negative impact on your body and your physiology and your neurology.
Sorry.
Hey, brother, you're good. So, once you find a point of alignment, that's the time then to take that point of alignment to a different elevation. Add points of contact. Oh, look at that. My thumbs are at my temples. These are ways to awaken your complete breath. Imagine your body like a full body slice. You have a beginning. And there's a way for you to line up everything horizontally. Your shoulders, your hands, your knees, all of the bones in our feet, all of the things that make that bridge the carpal bones. You can't see them, but there's a whole bunch of little bones in there. That's what enables you to use your hands the way that you do. Opposable thumbs. You know, what an adaptation. This freakish ability to stand upright. This freakish ability to then go back into curving body movements and leap around our prey, to use vines as constrictive, asphyxiating tools to run things down. We could live in any environment, and we did. And then once we stabilized, once agriculture was stabilized, that's like stabilizing the body. Then we could differentiate, then we could specialize, and that's why we've got, think about healthcare. You've got a cancer doctor, you've got a child cancer doctor, you've got a brain cancer doctor, you've got a kidney doctor, you've got a respiratory doctor, you've got a rhinologist, you've got a podiatrist. There are so many specialties, but there's this general knowledge that is shared amongst those who have gone through the cauldron, gone through the fires, and have been forged such that they know how to balance, they know how to sleep, they know how to study. They have systems in place that have enabled them through their genes and geography and understanding to orient themselves such that they can acquire with the greatest capacity for usage in solving new problems, in analyzing new problems based on anecdotal evidence, based on factors and metrics of all of the unique elements that we can test for. Embryonic. That's what agriculture was. We wouldn't have gotten where we are. We wouldn't know where we are in the universe if it were not for this process of agriculture. And the multiracial, the multicultural, universal proclivity for enslaving and controlling and dominating when groups came together and using whatever technology and inheritance from the ideology, the culture into which they were born. That's going to impact what's acceptable. That's going to impact what sensibilities should govern the decision making. What's right, what's wrong, what laws do we need to implement that governs this? Domination and control by force will not be accepted. That's something that all nations, all people naturally agree to. We believe in all human beings as being sovereign, capable of achieving a transcendent understanding and a transcendent integration of all of this knowledge about the universe, about the biology, about history, about theology, about psychology. Philosophy and the humanities have a role in humanizing what technology does. But if we want that to have a global impact, we're going to have to debate. We're going to have to confront the fundamentalists within in order to confront the fundamentalists on the outside. The inside and the outside must be criticized, must be analyzed, must be understood, such that the changes that we know we need to make are actualized. are shown to be real and true. Conform to these curves and then do the opposite. Stand as straight. Be as perfectly linear, such that you're piercing the force of gravity. You're a needle. You're a human knife. Maintain some relationship. Be aware of the distance between your hands and your feet. Sometimes you might want your feet to be wider and your hands to be within. Sometimes you might want them to be parallel, as if there were straight pipes that were connecting them at all of these different points. And with each flexion or lack of flexion, it was being altered. Front side, back side, closing muscles, opening muscles. It starts with the breath. First, stabilize your breath. Start with the nose. It takes the air to the highest point, which is what we want to do if we're trying to confront the force of gravity. First, you've got to confront it. First, you've got to accept that it's there. First, you've got to understand. First, you've got to feel that discomfort, feel that distraction, and recognize that that is derived from the source that animates us from our first breath. It animates us from our conception. Once the process of cell replication begins, once our first breath is taken, it takes on a different type of power. It took me 20 years to figure it out, and then another 15 to create this system. I made the first one like 15 years ago. I was at a conference, and I took it so that I could meditate, because it was the first one. It was like, oh, this is really helping. So I took it and I gave it away in an act of detachment, in an actualization of demonstrating how detached I was. I think we've got to do stuff like that. But in this case, it prolonged the time that I could utilize a sensitization that I got from only using it for like a week. And that lasted for another 10, 15 years. And I came back to it eventually, just because I'm aging. What worked then, I've never stopped meditating. I've never stopped practicing Tai Chi. This has been 40 years in the making. If I had a guitar, I'd be playing on the other side now. Changing the sector of the weight, changing how you're holding the weight as you go through these different sectors, as you change the flexion of the 12 to 14 muscles in your eyes, Your tongue is a muscle, your lips are a muscle.